A lesson for making decisions. Hi, my name is Volkmar Völzke. I'm Success Maximizer, coach and author. And welcome to this brief video about your success maximization. What am I talking about? A lesson for making decisions. I was recently, at least when I'm taking this video, I was recently watching the movie The Post with Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks, and it's about the Washington Post and the New York Times at the time of the Vietnam War. And it's an interesting true story. It's based on a true story. This whole movie is by Steven Spielberg, so a very good one. Anyway, if you like Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks, anyway, you will like that. But that's not my point. I can recommend watching it for one lesson, and this is my point here. What is the story is that they need to make, with all the circumstances, I'm not repeating this, I'm not describing the video here, the movie here, but the thing is they need to, Meryl Streep has got the leadership of this company, of the Washington Post, by her husband who passed away. So that's the story, and this is a true story. So she was a bit overwhelmed by her leadership, the requirements on her leadership. And the thing is, but she needed to make an extremely important decision that had an impact not only on the life of the company, of the future of the company, but also on many Americans, and at the end of the day, it turned out even on the entire world. It's about to publish some papers about the truth of the Vietnam War, and that would have an impact. But she was threatened that this company would get into bankruptcy and would be turned down by the government, by the US government, if they publish it and if they dare to publish the stuff. And she made the decision then to publish it. And I want to come to this, how to make decisions in this time pressure. She had just minutes literally at the end to make this decision to publish things or don't. And how to make that decision in this amazing pressure and make the right decision. And I want to reflect on that. And maybe if you have some decisions that are coming up, even if they are not so important, think of these three elements, three influences that I want to state here and reflect from this movie. Number one, do you define strong values? Strong values and your mission. So this is the thing. She refers them back to whom are we serving? Who are we serving as a newspaper, as the Washington Post? Who are we serving? Do we serve the government who threatens us to shut our company down? Or do we serve the people who deserve to get the truth by us? And this is very powerful. And she said, we defined decades ago that this newspaper is there for serving the people outside to get the truth. And this is why we need to publish, even if we risk to shut down the company afterwards. And we will see. But this is our mission. We cannot contradict the mission. And it's very, very powerful. The interesting thing is many companies don't have that. They say in a really difficult case, how do we decide? Where are our values? And then it's relatively easy if you have powerful values to decide according to them. If you haven't defined them, it's very difficult. So my urge is, my claim here is define your values, very strong pragmatic ones. Like for the Washington Post, we are there to serve the people and not the government, nobody else, right? And if you have something like that, we are there to serve. Why are you on this planet? What is really driving you? Very, very powerful stuff, yeah? And normally you need somebody driving this for you. It's very difficult to make that right purely internally, but that's another side remark. Number two, weigh the influences correctly. So rate what is influencing it. It's you have sometimes friends that are not friends, that pursue their own interests. You have customers, you have several viewpoints. So it's very challenging, but extremely important to say, okay, who has which agenda here? Who is bringing in which influence? And make sure that you have the right influences at the right place. A difficult task, but sometimes we don't look enough into this. So we just take it all equally, but it's not true. We have different levels of influence and some other agendas playing into the things. Be very aware of who is playing which agenda and what do you really want. And number three, start executing right away. This is so important. So I see so many decisions, quote by quote, that are made but not executed. It's basically not a decision. There's a rule of thumb. Everything that you haven't started executing within 72 hours after the decision is basically done. You need to make a new decision to execute. And this is such a pity, because sometimes decisions might be the right ones, or at least we don't know. We should start executing, but we are not, because we are afraid, we are fearful, so we didn't make really a decision. A decision is only a decision when it starts executing. So this is very powerful. So have the execution. So number one is values and mission. Number two is and weigh the right influences, look at which is influencing the decision and who and by why. And number three, start executing immediately. So if you have these three things, and you can learn it from this movie, The Post, and you see it there in action, then some of the decisions that you have to make could be better decisions in the future. And that's all my hope. It's about success maximization. And this is what this video is about. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, each day, drive your success with the right decisions and with passion.